Hey. We in the building. What is going on? Welcome to this episode of the Art Life Podcast. I am your host. I am D Muse. Make sure you're tuned in everywhere at I am D Muse. Go to imdmuse.com. Make sure you check out the Paid Artist Club, our group coaching online artist community, and where you can grow with like-minded artists. We'll talk about your branding, marketing, sales, and positioning, and help you get what you want to get in your art journey. So today, this is a continuation from the last episode. This is the perfect portfolio part 2 in the building. And just a quick recap of what we went over the last episode. We actually spoke about the different types of portfolios, which were your academic portfolio, your professional portfolio, online portfolio, not talking about Instagram or TikTok. Theme-based portfolio, and a curatorial portfolio as well. And we went over the different, uses and purposes, timings you want to do for each one and what should be in each one as well. So make sure you go back and you check out that last episode, because I'm not going through all of that again. Kind of want to get forward, go forward and give you some more information, right? That's what you want to. Want to keep regurgitating. So continuing talking about portfolios, and we can really talk about portfolios all day. We can even have a whole conversation about, about how to prepare for a critique and what to expect in a critique, and all of that can kind of all be in one. So we ain't even get that far just yet. But to continue the conversation, let's talk about what should not be in your portfolio, right? So we went over the different types of portfolios. So in these things right here that I'm about to cover, what should not be in your portfolio, goes across the board. It should not be in any of those portfolios. I don't care if it's a curatorial one. I don't care if it's an academic one. Academic because, I keep yawning. The academic because it's more about showing the learning process and the growth and everything. You could have some older stuff in there, and usually anybody that you would give one of those to probably wants to see that and see your progress and process and everything. But definitely outside of that, you don't want like old stuff in there, So let's talk about what should not be included in the artist professional portfolio. I'm having all types of hangups today, right? So the first thing, number 1, incomplete or unfinished pieces. Only showcase completed and polished work in your portfolios. Only show completed and polished work in your portfolios. Including unfinished pieces can give the impression of laziness or lack of attention to detail. So don't do it. Second thing that should not be in your professional portfolio: dated or outdated work. So this goes into another conversation that I've had many times with dating your work, right? And I'll speak on this briefly. I always recommend, to my artists not to date at least the front of their work. I don't overall have a problem with them dating their work. I guess it's part of archiving, not mandatory, but um, it can have its purposes, and the buyer can, a collector can use that, for their flashbacks or to remember when this happened and nostalgia and all of that stuff. So, I mean, if you're gonna do it on the back. Problem I have with dating at work, period, is it's stuck there, and if the work doesn't get sold, now it looks like something is wrong with that piece, especially if years go by and you haven't sold it. So if it's 2025 and you got this thing up there from 2017, 2018, people looking like, I kind of want the newer stuff, because logic would tell you if you continue to do it, you'll get better as you go along. So why wouldn't I want your best work, at least to date? So your work that you did now should be way better than the work you did 8 years ago. So I want the newer work, especially if I'm going to be paying these prices, especially if you're going to charge me the same price for the stuff you did 7, 8 years ago that you're going to charge me right now. I want the newer stuff. Now, I know this is not a car, I know this is not a house, one of those things, but the same thought pattern happens in most people's brains. And it kind of makes the beautiful piece that they saw look a little less beautiful when they see that date on it, and a lot of time has passed. So let them fall in love with the piece, get the piece sold, and then they can look at the date on it in the back once they bought the piece. Now, also, same thing happens. You're looking through the portfolio as a judge or a curator, some types of art administrator, and a lot of time has passed and you see this date. Now, you're just opening yourself up to conversations that are unnecessary at this juncture. You want them to focus on the image, to fall in love with the image. You want the image to resonate. You don't want any distractions. Just eliminate the possibility of the distraction. Don't have the damn date. And actually, I know it's not the same thing as being a portfolio, but I've submitted to contests before where you couldn't have a signature or writing anything on the image, else they wouldn't accept it, because it was supposed to be like a blind, choosing or whatever, blind judging. So usually people write the date, right, and their signature is like, no, you can't have nothing on there. Luckily where it was at, it didn't mess with the integrity of the image, but I had to crop it out, basically. So good thing was all the way in the corner, and all the other action was happening way over here. So just, if you're gonna put a date, put it on the back. That way, when you go to put together your portfolio, you don't have to worry about having a date on there and it potentially being outdated, because the date on there and a lot of times passed. And also, when I'm speaking about outdated, you need to avoid including work that does not reflect your current skills or style. Make sure you continuously update your portfolio with the latest and best work to showcase your growth as an artist. And you'll know what that looks like, continuously updating the frequency and all of that. Is going to depend on your productivity. So, I can't give you a number, do this every X amount of months, weeks, all that. Like, that's totally dependent on you. All right? Next thing should not be in your portfolio. Low quality images. Duh. take away from the integrity of your images. That's not popping how it would have popped before. So it's not speaking the same volumes. Different things are happening. The image is a little blurry. Couldn't get the details how I needed to. Spend the time, take the time, spend the money if necessary to get good quality images. And you should do it, period. Because once you do it, it's done. And you can just continuously use that. And if you sell a piece, you still got the image and, can do whatever it is that you want to do with it at any time. Or just keep it for records. But get a good quality image. Blurry or poorly lit images will detract from the overall presentation of your portfolio. All right, next. Irrelevant work. Do not have any irrelevant work. So only include pieces in your portfolio that align with your artistic goals and target audience. Why are you putting in there stuff that, this one-off thing you did, or, stuff that's going to be a distraction? Avoid including any work that does not showcase your strengths or is not relevant to the type of art you want to create or the type of artist you want to be known as. Keep your messaging straight. Branding, of course, right? Next thing, you don't want to have a bunch of the same stuff. Like, you don't want to have repetitive or similar pieces. And I know, you're like, oh, this is a series. Like, yes, you can include multiple pieces from a series. They shouldn't be identical. They should be distinctive enough. It should be complementary. If you're going to put them in there, it's like the whole image doesn't hit the same if both of these pieces aren't in there. But you don't want to have repetitive or, super similar pieces. Like, variety is the key in a professional portfolio. Variety, all under the umbrella of who you are as an artist. So if, you're Afro, futurist, surrealist, like myself, all of the different things that I'm doing all still fall into that category, but it's still different themes that I can explore under there. How does this look in the future? And then I can even reflect and compare, past versus future and stuff. Like, it's a lot of under everything is this what's called an umbrella. It's a lot of places you can go underneath there, but make sure it's all relevant to the type of artist that you're claiming you are, because you get to be whoever you want to be. You get to create yourself, and over, and you can rechange that, redo that anytime if you want as well. But avoid including work that does not showcase your strengths. Don't show a bunch of work that's you practicing on your weaknesses. If you're given an academic portfolio, which is typically usually only in school and stuff like that, or maybe like a story of your life or something like that, but other than that, no. So strengths, showcase work that shows your strengths. I'm not the best for like eyes, so I'm not gonna show a bunch of stuff with eyes in it. Might show some stuff with eyes closed. Might show some side profile stuff. Stuff with shades on and stuff. Like you see things that have like people put like the butterfly over the eyes and stuff like that. So it's like you're seeing through the butterfly, you metamorphosis eyes or whatever, different stuff like that type of stuff. Um, for my portfolio. Now, am I going to try that stuff? Yes, especially so I can get better at it. You know, that's the only way I'm going to get better at it. Yes. Am I going to have that, you know, in the inventory and all that? Am I going to exhibit some of that stuff? Yes. Am I going to put that in my portfolio? No. I want the best stuff in the portfolio. That's the weight of this thing. Nobody says, show me every piece of art you ever made. No, they specifically say, show me your portfolio. Meaning, what you consider your best stuff. And I'm giving you the power to choose what you think is your best stuff. Some of that could be based on how the work has been received already. Some of it could just be some of your favorite pieces. You know, they mean the most to you. I wouldn't make an emotional decision, but you know, they might mean the most to you. They might tell, you know, certain stories that you want to be told are important to you. But they only go in there if they the best stuff. Period. That's it. In this portfolio, that's it. Otherwise, keep the other stuff over there. And maybe we can talk about that later if I fall in love with your portfolio. Give me your best. That's what a portfolio means. I'm sure if I could translate it into another language, it would translate it as your best shit. That's it. The portfolio. The fire. That's it. All fuego. None of the whack, none of the weak, none of the watered down. No. The best. All right? Make sure you're not putting art in there that's not relevant to the type of art you want to create. And, you know, make sure you're showcasing a range of work that'll demonstrate your versatility as an artist. So, just to recap, what you don't want included in the artist's professional portfolio are incomplete or unfinished pieces, dated or outdated work, low quality images, irrelevant work, or repetitive or similar pieces. It's important to ensure that your portfolio showcases your best work and reflects your artistic style and capabilities. So now that you don't have any of that stuff in there and you know what type of portfolio you're going to actually be submitting, you should be in a lot better shape, right? All right. Well, thank you for tuning in today. We're going to conclude this conversation in part 3. So make sure you're back for the next episode of the Art Life podcast so we can get into continuing talking about your portfolio so we can get that ready because that's going to bring in the bucks, get you paid. Portfolios get you paid. But tell a friend about the show. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, make sure you slide in the DMs at IamDMuse. And you shoot the question over, and maybe I can cover the topic in one of these episodes. So, thank you for tuning in. This is D Muse, Pay the Artist. Peace.